Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Yeah, do that. It's fun. Betting on hockey is great.
Especially when you bet on the opponent of the Blackhawks.
Well, we had Sean Anderson come up to us today and say, hey, fellas, thanks for the money. Because all you got to do is bet the Hawks to give up the first goal and trail after the first period, and you'll be ahead.
Yes, hey, I'm also on that. I'm on that ride.
Betting is all about making money. It's not about friends and good feelings. It's about making money.
See, for me, and I think for a lot of Hawks fans, it eases the pain.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, they're trailing again, but I just won $20, so it's not the end of the world.
If you know it's coming, bet on it.
Yes,
seriously.
Exactly.
It's not doesn't make you less of a fan. It makes you a smart, slightly richer fan.
Meanwhile,
there
Mario,
you go.
remember on Sunday when you were here, we were like during the Bears game, and I was looking at the wire-to-wire bet where you just need the opponent to lead after the first, second, and third. And I was like, oh, Rangers plus 160. I didn't bet that for some reason. I just did the first goal and win, which I don't know why.
I think there was a little confusion between you and I on what the wire-to-wire meant, and maybe that's why you backed out of it. My apologies on that.
No, it's not your fault at all. I should have hit the button. Yeah.
Sorry.
I could have made more, but, I still hit the
Well, you'll notice that the three of us are dressed very festively. I have my Ralphie versus Scott Farkas Mortal Kombat shirt on.
It's a great shirt.
Greg's adorned in his Christmas Vacation Roosevelt, and Mario's got his Christmas Vacation Rant sweatshirt on, and with good reason. We're gonna take a little hockey departure today because the Blackhawks are terrible and we need a break. We're gonna draft our favorite.
Where's the Tylenol?
Yeah, seriously.
Have you watched the Blackhawks?
We're gonna draft our favorite holiday songs, so that's gonna be fun. But we've got some Hawks news to get to, of course. Make sure before we get into that you smash that like button on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed on your podcast app. Then download some more podcast apps and then subscribe there. Leave 5-star reviews on all of them. And we would be greatly, greatly appreciative of all that. So, all right, here's the news. You probably heard yesterday, Jared Tenorti has a facial fracture.
Oof, broken face.
Which sounds just really wonderful. Sounds like a great time.
It's a great time of year to have your face wired shut.
Seriously.
Yeah, Luke Richardson said today he's going to have a turkey shake for Christmas.
All the cookies. Oh, man.
Blend them up.
Yeah.
Milk and cookies, milkshake.
The poor guy, he gets 50 to 100 stitches.
I still laugh when it says 50 to 100
because
they lost count of how many stitches.
We lost counts. We had to go buy more thread.
It's between these many.
And then literally the first period, second period, without the face guard, he takes a slap shot right to the face.
First few minutes of the second period.
And just said, Luke Richardson said he had to have surgery to fix stuff. He's all wired up. Just got to be absolutely miserable.
Rough.
I was thinking, Tommy Boy, Jesus, what happened to your face?
Yeah.
I knew it. Do I have a mark?
I mean,
nope, looks good.
It was bad when we were all the way up in the press box and you could see the trail of blood from where he got hit all the way to the bench.
That was
not good. Just
tough scene.
But he seems to be in good spirits, and knowing a guy like Jared Tenorti, he's probably going to be back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's a bad dude. So get well soon to Jared Tenorti, a dude who, regardless what you think of him, is a guy who works his ass off on the ice and takes it for the team in more ways than one. That's rough. So he's on IR, and we don't have a specific timeline, but Luke said for a while. So with that, the corresponding move is that defenseman Isaac Phillips is up. Met the media today. Man, is he a big kid.
Yeah.
6'3", off his skates.
Yeah.
And just sort of towering over the media. Really confident kid. He's going to play tomorrow. And Luke Richardson said we want him to move the puck, but we also want him to be the kind of guy that makes opposing forwards think about dumping the puck in instead of going around him. So I'm excited to see him play. As Mike says here in the chat, he's been great in Rockford. He leads the American Hockey League in plus-minus. He is the Ice Hawks' leading scoring defenseman. So you talk about guys who have had some time to develop. He's one of them. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it published 25 seconds ago. Greg wrote a piece about Isaac Phillips today for allchgo.com. So make sure you check that out about 57 minutes from now.
Yeah, Isaac's been one of those prospects I've been I've attached myself to just because he's been so impressive. Just how well he's developed. You got to remember his professional career started a year early because of the whole COVID shutdown. He was slated to play the 2021-22 season or the 20 whatever it was in his at the 2020-21 season.
The before time
in the OHL.
Yeah. But
there was no OHL season, and then thankfully the CHL waived their age restriction, so it allowed him to play in Rockford under the age of 20, which is usually not allowed. And he was so impressive that within like 6 weeks of the season started, the Blackhawks signed him to his entry-level contract, and he's never looked back. He's been great. He got 4 games in the NHL that year.
And looked good.
He just keeps improving, and he's big. He can be physical, but he skates well for a big kid, and he can add in offensively. But that's not his main goal. He's a defensive-minded defenseman that, hey, I'm wide open. I'm going to shoot the puck. And he's just such a good kid, too. That was like what struck me the first time I talked to him was on Zoom a bunch of times during that wacky season. He's just always personable, has very thoughtful answers. He's not just a cliche guy, which I always appreciate, especially covering the AHL. If you get a guy that can actually say more than 9 words in an answer, he automatically becomes your favorite guy in the locker room.
And 5 of them aren't obviously.
Yeah,
or
obviously. So I'm very happy for Isaac. Good kid. I think he's that guy that a lot of people have kind of overlooked just because there's so many other higher profile defensive prospects. You know, you had Nolan Allen, who was a first-round pick. Del Mastro's been impressive getting to play in World Juniors. Then you had Kevin Korchinski, 7th overall. Those guys kind of take over. Even Ian Mitchell and Alex Regula and Alex Vlasic, who's injured, have people talk about those guys more. And there's Isaac Phillips just doing what he does and being a very effective hockey player. So I'm very happy for him, and I hope, he can make it stick. Why not?
Well, yeah, and Luke kind of said today, like, this, the beginning of your career, and these are the things you have to do to stick around. And he was asked, like, could he possibly be here long term? And he said what he always says: that players play, and if they do their job, there's no reason that he can't. Look, if he proves ready and proves ready to go, then maybe it allows them to start the engines on the trade market a little bit, which I wrote about just a few minutes ago for my weekly Blackhawks beat piece. It appears the Hawks are open for business. We'll get to that in a little bit here after we get to the news of the day. But, lots of stuff at all CHGO to check out. But, I from what I saw from him, I know it's 4 games. But for a guy making his NHL debut and look that good in those games, that says something. Most guys, they come, especially defensemen, come up and they kind of flounder a little bit. And you can see maybe the signs here or there. But he kind of came in, and you talked about it, Greg. It's a confidence. It's not a cockiness, but there's a definite confidence to him. And even just the way he carried himself with the media today, just knew the cameras are going to be there, had a smile on his face, ready to go, good answers, thoughtful. That stuff, even that off the ice confidence translates on too. Yeah. It's a kid who believes in himself and knows he can do it, and has probably just been chomping at the bit here for the opportunity.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of those players that when we talk about what the roster might look like next season, there's going to be some defensive spots open next season, and I think we've all kind of talked a little bit about how next season's roster, they might be just as bad, but at least there's going to be some players to be excited about because there'll be opportunity for young guys to come up, opportunity for development. I fully believe he will be one of those defensemen that will get an opportunity next season to potentially play a good chunk majority of the season in the NHL. And he's got a big opportunity now with Tenorti going to be out for a while. His first opportunity will be tomorrow night. So it's going to be exciting to see him back in the lineup. He's, like you said, he's been one of the showcase young players in Rockford. So this is, we were talking about, we need to see something from the Blackhawks, to maybe get the team a little bit of excitement, something new. Well, here we go. It's Isaac Phillips could be that something new that we can watch and pay attention to and get a little excited about.
We got a question in the chat here from our buddy No Roy's Just Rage. Who has a better shot at the Hawks roster, Mitchell or Phillips?
Phillips.
Yeah, long term it's
Probably
Phillips.
Yeah.
Phillips is a Luke Richardson type player.
Yeah.
Big, physical, can move the puck.
You could argue he's a better skater than Mitchell, too.
Well, yeah, maybe. But, so, yeah, Phillips definitely has the higher NHL ceiling than Mitchell right now.
He's also got the contract that's going to be longer anyways.
Right.
So
yeah, I like the fact that both Mitchell and Phillips are going to be in the lineup tomorrow night. At least it appears to as of now. Caleb Jones is on the outside looking in. That may have more to do with maybe that hip's bothering him again. There were a couple plays late in that game against the Rangers where he kind of labored back to the bench a little bit, and he actually left and came back. So maybe that hip is bothering him. But I like getting both of the young guys in there. Get more of the young guys in at this point. Like, we're going to see more of them, obviously, after the trade deadline, but let them go out there. At this point, put Phillips and Mitchell together as a pairing. What do you got to lose except more games?
Played together last year in Rockford.
Yeah, I mean they've got some chemistry together. They've, as you said, they've played. They were their top pairing for most of the season last year in Rockford. So see what happens.
Mike says, would you put Phillips around Del Mastro and Allen in prospect rankings?
I would.
I think it's
I would put him-
Korchinski is at the top for sure.
Yeah, as far as like those three, I would probably have Del Mastro and Allen in the same level, maybe a half step above Phillips. But I mean, that's just more of a projection. Phillips has more, obviously more professional games under his belt early on in his career, which is, like you guys, like Greg talked about, like that's a benefit for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think stepping in now at this point this season, it's a good opportunity to see what kind of progress he's made from the games he played last year to now this year, and he's a young guy. Like we talk about, he's played 2 years in the AHL, early in his career. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say they're all pretty close. They're all pretty close, and this is an opportunity for Phillips to maybe really stake his claim to be an NHL ready guy.
The other bit of news from practice today, Alex Stalock is officially back off of injured reserve. Peter Mrazek will start Wednesday night against Nashville, but it kind of sounded like unless Mrazek gets a shutout, Alex Stalock is going to get the start against Columbus.
Stalock's starting against Friday. If Friday's game happens, with the weather. Snowmageddon coming, or maybe not coming, who knows?
Bring it on.
I love it.
It
seems like it's not going to be as bad as first implicated.
My problem is that I am a procrastinator, and so I was hoping that I would get some time to do some Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
And that
you got to get that done.
Well, it's going from 95 feet of snow to like 8 to 10 inches. So
the early models we're predicting a little higher.
Very good.
Sorry.
That's the weather report from Casey Kasem.
Yep.
I love Stalock in practice. Like they were doing this drill where everyone would take a shot and then do a breakaway move on him, and if you gave up a goal, it was
the
F. Like you could hear like kind of a high pitched.
That's his favorite word in his vocabulary.
Word. The F word is his favorite word.
When Jujhar Khaira scored on a top corner shot that he like just tipped with his glove, and you go, F you! And then Luke Richardson talked about it. Like Stalock being back, his personality was back up, and that to have him at full health, coming off of the concussion, and he also mentioned there was some neck issues with Stalock as well. Not only the concussion, but also the taking the shot in the neck. So good to see that he's back to himself, back on the ice, feeling good, feeling ready to play. And yeah, it sounds like Friday.
Yeah,
our first return back to the Alex Stalock experience.
And say what you want about his goaltending style; it's an adventure, but it was very effective very effective and entertaining in the small sample size we got. But just overall, I'm glad he's back and around because he's really top-notch individual, and you could tell his teammates really appreciate him and like him. So you need more in a season that's this tough and probably going to get tougher. It's nice to have a guy that can kind of keep it a little lighthearted and keep up people's spirits. And he's definitely good for that.
Do I need to pause that first goal against or that bat?
No, I think you're safe.
No, I think you're still good.
It's hitting at an 85% clip at this point. You just
you might want to pause on the Columbus game Columbus is right there with the Hawks.
Somebody's got to
suck
score.
it too.
Somebody has to score first, and somebody has to win that game.
I'm gonna say right now,
And Columbus has more. They got Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau. I mean, that's
Hawks are gonna win Friday.
Oh, if the game happens.
If the game happens, yes.
Hawks
That's
are
it.
going to win in front of 9 people at the
Yes.
United
Yeah.
Center, and all
Yeah.
of those people will be pressed.
And they're sled dogs.
Yeah. So I will say though, practice today very loose. Guys laughing and having fun and yelling and there's if you walk around, it doesn't feel like a lot of tension. And it was interesting. I noticed Luke said today during the presser, like they were trying to decide what to do for practice yesterday, like just to let people kind of behind the curtain. We didn't know all day, Sunday and then Monday morning, are they going to practice or not? And it was kind of a discussion. And Luke said, we just felt like if we practiced, it'd be like a real depressing atmosphere. It'd be probably a little bit sloppy. You guys are tired. You guys are feeling down in the dumps. So they just hit the weight room instead and had practice today. Guys looked fresh. They looked re-energized. And that, to me, is like that's the hardest thing for Luke to do.
Yeah.
Because you lost 7-1. And I think there's probably a lot of older school fans that hear that and are like, wait a minute, why is the coach letting the players dictate when they practice for their own mental health and for the ability to not lose the team? Yeah. But, like, is there some level of punishment that needs to be doled out for a 7-1 loss? I think if this was the 2015 Blackhawks losing 7-1, it would be a different story. Mm-hmm. But I think everybody in that room is aware of the reality of this roster.
And Greg and I were talking at practice about a certain coach in Philadelphia that probably would have bag skated the Blackhawks on Monday.
Probably a dozen times by now this year.
And the fact
and
that
scratched Patrick Kane by now.
And would have scratched Patrick Kane to send a message. The fact that Luke Richardson is taking the temperature of the room so much from his players, I think goes a long way. And this season, we were talking about at practice, it doesn't matter who you have behind the bench. It's the players and the talent gap that is the issue. Yeah. It's not the X's and O's. It's not the structure. It's not the strategy. It's the execution, and it's the guys who are trying to execute those things. They're just not talented enough. What are you going to do to punish these guys after a 7-1 loss to the Rangers, who had won a couple of games in a row and are fighting for the playoffs in the Eastern Conference? What are you supposed to say? You should be better at hockey. Skate harder.
Why don't you have more skill?
What are you supposed to do at that point? Because it's not for a lack of effort. It's not for a lack of giving a shit. Like, these guys are out there playing as hard as possible, and we've talked. They're just not good enough, and we've talked about it a bunch of times. Playing from behind constantly is basically like playing 2 games at once. You're putting out so much more energy than the other team because you're trying to have to come back from being down 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, whatever it is. So Luke Richardson being in tune with his players and what they need on specific days, whether it's off-day practice, a lighter skate, whatever it needs to be, I think that that's really important for this specific team, because down the road, hopefully not too far down the road, when this team is competitive again, when there are higher expectations, you want to know that the team can trust Richardson for when he does have to, kind of drop a hammer once in a while and be like, we have to be better than this. Yeah. So I think it's great that he's able to be in tune with that and is kind of setting that precedent and not just saying, it's my way or the highway. We need to be better hockey players when you literally just can't. It's not NHL 23. You can't up their attributes. These are the guys who they are.
And to your point earlier about how practice was kind of up pace and fun and guys were laughing, I think and some people may be like, how is this possible? They've lost 7 in a row. They've got the worst record in the league. How are these guys enjoying themselves? Mainly because there is no pressure. This isn't a team. This isn't last year's team that people thought could maybe make it to the playoffs. This isn't the Colorado Avalanche who have coming off a Stanley Cup. This is a team that was expected to be exactly where they are. So there's no pressure on these guys. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they want to win, but they're not going to drive themselves crazy and get super pissed when they're not, because they know, they see what it is. So why not? You're in the NHL. Why not have fun?
Right.
I mean, you may not come in a lot of wins, but make the best out of a bad situation.
You're also going to I think you're going to play better that way too.
Mm-hmm.
When you're miserable and practice is a drag and you're getting bag skated by some D-bag blowhard head coach, it's a miserable experience.
Yeah.
Like, look, maybe it shouldn't be a party when they've got the worst record in the league, but at the same time, like, what's going to keep them competing for 82 games? What are the best chances? Have them be miserable or have them be loose?
Right.
Of course, it's loose. And when you watch them play, they don't play loose. They don't play. That's the wrong thing to say. They don't play like they don't care.
Right.
They're not mailing it in. They're not playing at 60% and just waiting for the horn to sound. Those dudes are competing 60 minutes a night. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to get them going full speed, right? But we say it every game, every post game. It's just a matter of talent. That's all it is. Yep. And if games were won by work ethic alone, the Hawks would have a really damn good record.
Yeah. Yeah. And think about, people listening, like think about at your job going in to work, and if you hate your workplace, if you're not working in a good environment, or you don't like your coworkers, or everyone's just in a bad mood all the time, when you go into work, you're dreading like, here we go again, another day, and you go through your work day, and it's just you go through the motions, you have a bad day. Like if you let that stew, then that environment becomes negative. And
maybe you got a stew going.
I got my wife's making stew tonight. It's going to be
perfect night for stew.
Going to be good stuff. But if you have that for this team, if every day you're driving to the Fifth Third Arena or driving to the UC or getting on the plane and you're in a bad mood and the environment is negative, then it's just not only are you going to be, losing games because of the talent gap, you're also going to have guys heading for the exit. In the second period, second intermission, after the first goal, you're gonna have that negative environment, which isn't conducive to even, having guys trying to win these games, having guys being able to try and put the pedal down when you're down 2-0, and you're like, what, we got to pick it up, because when you get to that point, it's if you're in that negative environment, negative space, it's just so much harder to try and get that out of you, and we saw it at times last season where the body language was checked out, visibly checked out in games.
Yeah.
And for different reasons, but when that happens, there's no coming back from it.
Oh, yeah. When we got on the beat last year, it was in March, and that was a team that was just done with everything.
Yeah.
It was a long, strange season.
It sucked.
The beat reporters were over it. The team was over it. They were just checking days off the calendar. Yeah. Couldn't wait for that season to be over. That's not what's happening right now. Maybe when we get to March or April, it might be that way.
It'll get there.
But I actually think March and April might be a little fun. It's not going to be good hockey, but it'll be fun because you're going to get you're going to get an influx of some younger talent, maybe some guys from Rockford, maybe some prospects, younger players that they get in some of these trades. You're going to have new faces. You're going to have that exuberance of youth injected into the locker room, and maybe that makes a difference. It's not going to it's probably not going to equate to many wins.
No,
but at least it'll be a fun attitude, and there hasn't been that checkout yet. And despite what some people on Twitter or in our chats might say, this team is very engaged. They're just not very good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of trades, during Sunday's game against the Rangers, ESPN's Emily Kaplan had a report during the first period that we were all at the game. We didn't hear it, so I actually went back on ESPN Plus, found the replay, and listened to it. So from what she understands, after a conversation with Kyle Davidson, Kane and Taves are expected to address their desires in the new year, which is pretty vague. But from what everyone seems to understand, it would be after Christmas,
right,
in January, that those discussions will start with those two guys. Meanwhile, GMs around the league have been told that the other unrestricted free agents on the team are available. That's Max Domi, Andreas Athanasiou, Jujhar Khaira, Jack Johnson, Jared Tenorti, and Alex Stalock. All of them are available. Obviously, Tenorti can't be moved because he's hurt. Yep. So no specific conversations have happened just yet, but open for business. The other thing that Davidson told Emily Kaplan was that while that's true, he's not going to be trading people just to trade people. Don't expect to get Max Domi for a 6th-round pick. He wants good picks. He wants prospects or some combination of those things to move these contracts. So
we saw that last year.
Yeah.
With DeHaan and Strome and Kubel. He didn't trade him just to trade him.
Right.
He had his idea, his expectation of what he wants from him. If you don't give it to me, then I'm cool with not making a trade.
Yeah, I mean, because we've talked.
You're not going to help out another team and get nothing in return,
right?
Just to make the trade.
We've talked a lot about potentially Domi returning beyond this season. Potentially the same thing with Athanasiou, and I think Jared Tenorti is making a case too as a guy who. Look, you're going to be bad. You need roster spots filled out while you develop these defensemen. Another year for Jared Tenorti isn't the worst idea either. No. So unless someone's going to blow your doors off or something, then there is no reason to just force a trade for the hell of it.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think we talk about roster turnover. You're not just any UFA. You're not just shoving them out the door just for nothing. You do need some guys, and just like we said at the beginning of this season, you can't just play the Rockford Ice Hogs as the Blackhawks and say here's our team. So next year, that's not going to be the case. There's a few guys that'll probably be back, but yeah, I think it's good for Davidson to kind of set the precedent of like we are open to moving these players, but you also have to make it worth our while because he could just be content. As far as as a trade on the trade block with other GMs, he can be content and we're just saying like, look, I know you want Andreas Athanasiou, but I want your 3rd round pick or your 2nd round pick or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's not just going to back down and say, oh, okay, I'll take a 5th just to get rid of him. Like he can be content keeping these players if the value's not there, because his job is also to make the most of things. And if he just ships out guys for undervalued return, then that's not really – it's getting something you didn't have as far as picks or assets or future assets or whatever. But if you do a poor job of like if you load up on 5th and 6th round picks, that does nothing for you.
And it gives you the reputation of, well, just call Kyle Davison. You can get it. You can get whatever you want for anything.
You don't want to become a doormat,
right? We had a guy that already had that reputation,
right? That you can get the wool pull over.
Like you want to play hardball here and set up the reputation. Like if you want to trade with Kyle Davidson, you better come with a serious offer. He's going to hang up on you.
And in that line of thinking, other GMs too have pressure to be, if they're being in contention, to make some of those moves. So if they're out there thinking we need a guy with speed or we need a guy who can play in a middle 6 role that's gonna be feisty, and they know Andreas Athanasiou or Max Domi are out on the market and they don't do what they can to get them, then they're also on the line for trying to improve their team. And if they don't do that, then they have to face the repercussions of not doing all they could to make their team better and make a Stanley Cup run. So it's a two-way street.
Well, we got a fun poll in our YouTube chat. If you want to chime in.
It's not quite a Festivus poll, but it'll do.
Well, yeah, we'll have the feats of strength coming up in the second half. Blackhawks play 5 games, Nashville, Columbus twice, Carolina, and St. Louis between now and 2023. How many of those 5 games will they win? 0, 1, 2 or 3, or 4 or 5? Surprisingly, 4 or 5 has not gotten a vote yet.
What?
So, yes, let us know what you think, and we'll revisit that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
One game is off to a very early lead, but that's what I voted on. I said 1.
I'm voting for 1 game.
I say, it's going to be 1 or less.
I say 1, and I agree. I think it comes on Friday.
I agree with our GM, Jake Flanagan, who is wearing a sweatshirt that has my answer. I don't know if you've noticed it.
0.
He's got his Smashing Pumpkins sweatshirt on.
Yes.
So if you're a music fan,
0.
you know what that number is.
Also in the chat here, question from Mike. It says, did you guys hear about Ottawa inquiring about Seth Jones? That came from Elliot Friedman on the latest 31 Thoughts podcast, and it was quite the toss-away comment from Friedman, but I think it's because to his knowledge, there really isn't anything there. Basically, if you missed it...
I have the quote. Do you want me to read the quote?
Go ahead.
All right. This is from the 32 Thoughts podcast. Again, read about all of this in my Blackhawks beat piece published moments ago. This is from Elliot Friedman. Quote, we've talked about how the Senators have looked at every possible defenseman that you can think of. I think one of the guys that they at least asked about, and I don't think it went anywhere, but I thought it was interesting, was Seth Jones. They just made the call and said, would there be any interest in moving him? And they've dealt with Chicago before in the DeBrincat deal. I think they just called and just felt it out. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's going to, but I heard that on the weekend they're calling on everybody, and they called on Seth Jones, but I don't think it's happening. So I'll let you expound on that because you actually heard it, but this is impossible, not impossible, but very, very, very unlikely for several reasons.
Ottawa needs so much help defensively and in net, and their solution to those problems was to get Alex DeBrincat and Claude Giroux. So now they're in a position where their defensemen outside of Thomas Chabot are a bunch of stuff, and so it makes sense that they're calling about getting defensive help. The problem is they only have about $2.4 million in cap space available.
That's not going to pay for Seth Jones.
That's not going to pay for Seth Jones, even if the Blackhawks retain salary.
Still can't afford him.
On that side of things, the Blackhawks should not be entertaining the idea of retaining salary on a Seth Jones deal, because that's going to require retaining salary for about 15,000 years, and it's going to muddy up their cap situation where they're expecting to have to retain salary on a Jonathan Toews and or a Patrick Cade trade in season, potentially retaining salary on Domi and Athanasiou, maybe retaining salary on a McCabe or a Murphy trade. Like, they're going to have the room to do that, but if they were to do that for a Seth Jones deal, that's really going to make things complicated when you're trying to, make the dollars work. Jones has a no movement clause as well, so that's also a hurdle to get by. And on Ottawa's side, they don't have the space or the money to make that deal. And I think when you look at it, they're probably very interested in trying to make Alex DeBrincat a long-term Senator.
Can't do that with Seth Jones' contract.
If you bring on Seth Jones,
term limits,
he makes more than he makes more. Nice. Seth Jones makes more than the qualifying offer for Alex DeBrincat will be. Yeah. So the math isn't mathing there for Ottawa.
The other thing with Ottawa specifically is, if a team was like, we really want to get Seth Jones, we want to acquire him, we'll get rid of some bad contracts to make the money work. For Ottawa to do that, they'd have to make their team worse. Right? Because all their high contract guys, Tkachuk, Giroux, DeBrincat, Batherson, as the forwards, you've got Thomas Chabot making 8. Nikita Zaitsev makes 4.5. All these guys
signed Josh Norris and Tim Stützle to long-term contracts.
Norris
as well.
is on IR, so is Stützle, but that's 7.95 for Norris, 8.35 starting next year for Stützle. It's not possible. They're not going to move one of those deals to bring in Seth Jones or two, because at that point, it doesn't help the Ottawa. Right. If you're looking at other teams with, old, like a Milan Lucic situation, right? Like, that's a decent-sized salary that you can move out. It's not going to hurt the team that badly.
Right.
But for Ottawa specifically, they don't even really have that as an option if they wanted to. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what Ottawa was thinking making that call. Even if the Hawks were like, yeah, let's do it, how? You had to involve a third team.
What are you going to do to make it possible?
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm Ottawa, why not ask about Jake McCabe? Why not ask about Connor Murphy?
Sure.
That makes a lot more sense for them. It's much more doable for both teams.
It's Ottawa. That's why.
It could be.
Logic and the Ottawa Senators.
They got to swing big out there in Canada.
Logic and the Ottawa Senators aren't bedmates very often. So.
Yeah. Well, that's very unlikely to happen. I know it's a big, sexy name out there, and Seth Jones always gets the conversation going, but it's just not. That particular trade feels very unlikely.
Yeah, I don't expect Seth Jones to be moved.
Seth Jones isn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
and if you do find somebody that says we want to take on the whole contract, you
go for it.
You fax the NHL those papers before they change their mind, and that's not a slant, a shot at Seth Jones. I'm a big Seth Jones fan, but you can clear that contract. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, want to let everybody know the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve Manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on light. I keep wanting to say lightning on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across their territory. Customers can inquire about how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights. Learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device and track your facility's energy usage and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor, outdoor lighting, and networked lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. Visit ComEd.com/poweringbiz now to start saving money and energy, and to start a project, contact them at 855-433-2700. For more info, email businessee@comed.com or publicsectoree@comed.com.
And if you're saving money on your energy bill, you can turn that around and spend it on some tickets through GameTime, the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sporting events, concerts, shows, whatever event you want to get a ticket to, you can get it through GameTime. If you ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought possible, maybe the 50-yard line at a Bears game or right on the ice for the Blackhawks, they make it possible with the GameTime app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on seats you never thought you could buy. Never going to find a better deal this year on Blackhawks tickets, Bears tickets, Bulls tickets. If you really want to go out and watch those teams, use the GameTime app, save yourself some money, get some seats to some interesting games, you can call them. Created by the fans, for the fans, guaranteeing the lowest price. And that's the big thing about GameTime is if you potentially find another price that is better than on GameTime, if you bring it to GameTime and say, hey, I found this on another website, they will match that price to make sure that you're getting the best deal through them. And if you love CHGO, you're going to love GameTime. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description of this show and join over 15 million people who have downloaded the GameTime app and score the best deals to all of your favorite events.
Yeah, and speaking of CHGO, it's a great time if you're looking for that last-minute gift for the Chicago sports fan in your life. Get them a die-hard membership at allchgo.com. Really, there is if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you know a fan of one of the pro Chicago sports teams, and often they can be difficult to buy for. This is a great gift. It includes a T-shirt or hat at sign up and every year upon renewal. So go to allchgo.com and give one of those all-city gift memberships this holiday season. You will be the winner of the holidays with that gift because it's really great. And, of course, even the gift memberships include the discounts on the merch, the discounts on the events, the takeovers, the tailgates, all that good stuff. And from what I understand, keep your ears and eyes open because we might be having a Blackhawks takeover coming up very, very soon.
That'll be fun.
Let's go.
Let's do that. So keep your eye on allchgo.com and, of course, our Twitter feed at CHGO_Blackhawks for all that information as it becomes available. But I would think maybe right after the holidays we should have some kind of announcement on when that takeover will be happening.
Just get your fatigues ready, your helmets on.
Oh, yeah.
Not
it's going to be like when DX invaded WCW.
Oh, no, I'm just saying for the tank, not for an insurrection or anything.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
No,
We're not insurrecting the United
tank.
Center.
Yeah,
right?
the takeover is not January 6th, I
No,
promise you.
no.
That's way too soon. Not enough time to plan.
Actually, no, it's not. No.
I like the DX takeover. We just got to get a mini tank and someone can stand over the.
Well, the thing of doing
Cannon.
like an armed takeover, usually you have to take over something that people actually want to protect. I think if we walked up, they'd be like, "Please come on in."
Ooh, 3 more fans.
Sit wherever you want.
Find our concessions.
Yes.
Yeah, Vex, we're going to have a takeover soon.
It's like
the
what we
Bulls
did
had
for-
one recently.
It's basically
it was
a group
good time.
outing, a CHGO group outing to a Hawks game. More specific details coming soon, but basically
you'll hang out with us.
hang out with us,
hang
watch
out.
the game.
We'll go to the game.
Cheer
we'll
the
have
opponent's
some
goals when you have money on them. Per
food
chance.
and beverage and good times.
It's a chance for the hosts, the personalities, and the fans to get together and watch a game live and in person at the United Center.
Come see me be socially awkward in person.
Correct. Correct.
Where's the corner? Jay's over there. That's where I go. All right.
It'll be a good time.
Enough hockey nonsense for a while, hey?
Yeah.
It's been a long year. It is my favorite time of year. I love.
Well, it's a long December, and there's reasons to believe.
Counting Crow is better
year.
than Train.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Made a wintry mix playlist on Spotify, and that is the lead song. Long December.
Yes, a little snow, a little rain, a little ice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Long December, man. That's a song that makes me want to grab the razor blades and sleeping pills.
It's not the
It's
most
not a happy
upbeat.
song at
No,
all.
it is
It's a
not.
happy holiday song.
But you know what? There's a lot of days where those are the types of songs that get me through the day.
Yo, yeah. Sad songs
Sure.
bring me more joy than anything. Absolutely.
Yeah, that works.
All right, let's get
That's
to
a good
our
lead into our holiday song.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Tis the
Yeah.
season.
Sad songs are the best.
Tis the season.
Sad songs. They say so much. A
Yes.
wise man once said that. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do what? 5 picks each.
5 picks.
We're gonna do a snake draft.
Snake draft. We got to figure out the
Now,
order.
as I'm always told that I'm rigging the thing. I get the first pick all the time.
Yeah, go to spinthewheelofj.com.
Yeah, so we're gonna let Lawrence determine the draft order somehow.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, you're gonna do
it. Okay, that's an interesting.
See, I always get.
thought.
How about this? Since tell me if this is fair. Since I always have to go first for the 4-star of the game, why don't I go last for the song draft?
Oh, he wants that.
See, you
You wanna
think
do
that-
reverse order?
You
Want
think
the
that
double
that's
pick.
fair, but
All right,
then
we'll
you
give
get
me
the
the
double
middle
pick.
pick.
But
Give me
then
the
you get
middle
the
pick.
double pick. All right.
It's three categories. What's the fair way to do this?
I just put heads above things, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So let's see.
Oh.
Mario.
All right. I get the
Craig,
middle. All right.
and-
All right, good.
How about
That's
that?
it.
Is that
There's
fine?
your order.
Wonderful.
that?
Fine.
All right.
Grand. Wonderful.
Okay. Phew, we did it.
Works for me.
All right, Greg.
No yelling on the bus.
You're on the clock. You
All
get
right.
the first. You get the first Christmas
Well, I'm going
song.
to pick a song. All right.
What should we explain?
Yeah, we're going to pick a song, and when you pick the song, you are now in ownership of all those versions.
Every version.
But we're gonna like say what our favorite versions of this. So I can't be like, I want the Bing Crosby White Christmas, and the next pick you go, I want the Elvis White Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Once you pick a song, you are the owner of all those versions.
So ASCAP, the according the ones who
Ass.
they own all the songs, and you can't ever play them on these podcasts, or you get sued.
Well, we can hum them.
Okay, so you
Maybe
you're saying
what
we
I'll
own-
do
we own
after
all
the
of
show
them.
is I will go into Spotify.
Christmas
I will
karaoke.
build this playlist
There
and
we
we'll
go.
tweet it
Oh,
out
that'd
so
be
people
fun.
can download
There you
it.
go.
Now,
Very
that's
good.
a great idea.
All right, here
Wonderful idea.
is my. I'm going number 1 overall.
Oh.
My favorite pick.
Is it Mariah
My
Carey?
favorite song. It is not Mariah Carey. I'm not a religious guy at all, but I tend to enjoy the religious Christmas songs
Yeah.
better than the Santa Claus fluff songs.
Non-denominational.
Yes. I am picking my favorite Christmas song is "Oh Holy Night." I knew that's yours as well. We had this discussion. That's my favorite song.
Night.
I really love the Josh Groban version of it.
Oh,
Celine Dion's
yes.
is really good. Ella Fitzgerald has a really good version of it as well. And I love choir versions of Christmas songs. Give me some British choirs singing holy Christmas songs, and I'm in a good spot. So,
Nice.
"Oh Holy Night,"
Now, why do they have to be British?
because
A
they
British
sing
choir?
better.
They do. Okay.
Hmm.
Cheerio.
Well, I hate you.
All right.
All right.
Well, you
Well,
do the long-
Oh Holy Night is off the board. I will say that was not on my big board of songs, so I'm confidently going to take my top overall song. It is the Nat King Cole version of the Christmas song.
Yes.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your neck.
don't even
I
wanna
hear
do
that
this
song,
anymore.
and I am in a cozy lounge chair
Should have done the Wheel of J.
in front of a fire with a nice robe and a Christmas tree and some snow coming down in the background. That just puts me in the absolute Christmassy of
It
Christmas
is a
moods.
great tune. I could listen to Nat King Cole sing names out of the phone book.
Absolutely.
He's got maybe the greatest voice
Phone books.
in all of music. I love Nat King Cole.
Jay?
And
Whatever.
Jay
It seems like your
Chase
top picks
Chase
are
pouting
gone.
in the corner over here.
I'm really
Look at
upset.
Hey, we could have just spun the wheel of Jay.
Yeah.
Give me "Christmas Time Is Here" by the Charlie Brown Gang.
Time is here.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
a good one.
So that's one for me. I'm so pissed that my 2 favorite are off the board already. Oh, it sucks so bad.
And yes, the Eric Cartman version of "Oh Holy Night" is a great one too.
All right. The other one I'm going to take, and see, it might not be my second favorite Christmas song, but I don't want it off the board when I come back around. So it's all about winning the draft, not so much about which songs I get.
There is strategy to this.
So I'm going to take Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Nice.
I would have taken that maybe third round. So
That was-
you might.
That was on my draft board as well.
All right.
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. All right. My second pick. Now, I need a ruling on this.
Okay.
Because I don't think this is considered specifically a Christmas song, but I think a lot of people associate Christmas with it. So I'm going to go with, the song is titled Linus and Lucy. It is the theme song to Charlie Brown.
It's Christmas.
You hear it for Great Pumpkin, you hear it for Thanksgiving, you hear it for Christmas, but I hear the Charlie Brown theme song, I think Christmas.
No, I agree.
Good?
Yeah, I'll
That's
allow it.
the that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Charlie Brown Christmas is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. It was my favorite Christmas movie as a kid. I'm 32. It is still my favorite Christmas movie. And when I'm 92, it'll still be my favorite Christmas movie. I absolutely love Charlie Brown Christmas.
Give me the California Raisins. That was a good special back in the
That was
day.
a good one.
Claymation.
So
Yeah.
that is my number 2 pick.
Nothing like a nativity scene with a bunch of rotten grapes. I'm going to go a little non-traditional. I went totally traditional with the number 1 overall pick. I'm going second song. One of my favorite Christmas songs is Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. I love that song.
Well done.
So I'm going Fairy Tale of New York with the second pick, and I get the swing pick.
Now you get the double pick.
That's a tough one here because, again, I there's songs I want, but then there's songs that I'm like, well, it's probably not going to be back when I come. But I say I like the religious songs better. I'm not a big fan of the Santa songs, but I'm going to go against that. I'm taking Santa Claus is Coming to Town, third overall. Obviously, the best version of that is the Bruce Springsteen version. There's no doubt about that.
I had a feeling that was going to be a pick of yours.
I knew that was coming.
But the original is great, too. Any version of those is good. But Santa Claus is Coming to Town is number 3.
All right.
All right, I'm feeling really good about my draft here and my draft board because I'm getting my top 3 picks.
Wow.
Right here. This is
bully for you.
This is a holiday song draft. This is not just a Christmas song draft.
You're just picking the dreidel song?
So I am not picking dreidel, but same religion. I am going with Adam Sandler's The Hanukkah song.
Nice.
Iconic holiday song that you can listen to at any time of the year and have some joy.
Happy Chanukah, as our friend Smokey Robinson would say. I don't know what Chanukah is, but happy Chanukah.
Yes.
That's a good pick.
And you know what? Happy Hanukkah to our friends that celebrate.
Yeah.
I believe it's night 3 tonight.
Third night, yes. Night 3.
Congratulations. I don't know why I said that. All right. Next up for me, I'm still bitter. I'm going with Peace on Earth / Little Drummer Boy by Bing Crosby and David Bowie.
Good one.
I think you probably just put Little Drummer Boy on there for space's sake. Lawrence, trying to make your job easier. So that's just great. I love that song. And just the juxtaposition of Bing Crosby and David Bowie coming together for that performance and the harmonizing, and it's just a wonderful song.
2 of the coolest dudes that ever walked the planet together singing.
It's really great.
Another great version of Little Drummer Boy, Bob Seger has a really good version of Little Drummer Boy.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not heard that.
We'll have to find that one.
Quite enjoyable.
All right, my next one is going to go to Dean Martin, Marshmallow World. There's a marshmallow world and I'm hammered. Love that one. I love all things Marshmallow.
Oh, there you go.
Especially the song.
I do not. I don't think I've ever heard this song, to be honest.
You've heard it.
I'll have to listen to the playlist.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
You've probably heard it before. All right. I will continue going just right down my draft board with my number 4 pick. This one I think is.
Mario's trying to say you guys suck at drafting, by the way. I don't know if you've caught that.
Well,
it's our draft. This one, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this one, but if you are familiar with it, Bon Natale to you. Dominic the Donkey by
I hate that
Lou
song.
Monte.
Is it?
Ching, it's Dominic the Donkey. Super Italian Christmas song.
It.
Because
Feast of the
Santa's
Seven
reindeers cannot go up the hills of Italy, so he needs Dominic the Donkey.
All right.
Shoes for Lou and a dress for Josephine.
Not as mad anymore. Not as mad as I was 4 seconds ago.
All right, so it's up to me now. I'm gonna get the last 2 picks of my draft here. First one, I'm gonna do the Chipmunk song.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
It's literally called the Chipmunk song.
Is that Christmas time is here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want a hula hoop.
Yeah.
That one. The Chipmunk song, and then my last song. So many good ones to choose from. I'm gonna go with "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas."
That's good.
And then that you can pick any version you want. I prefer those types of songs. Give me any of the old-fashioned crooners: Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I'm gonna wrap up my top 5 and close out the best draft.
There you go.
Very good.
Well, I knew this song was going to be on the board.
I forgot that these are a lot of long-worded songs.
Yeah. We need bigger brackets.
Smaller font.
we need a bigger board. I knew this song was going to be available, so that's why I left it to number 5. But I will go right down my draft board, 1 through 5. I am a child of the 90s, as you guys love to point out.
Yes.
So it comes to my advantage in this draft. I am picking Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC. That you will not find
By all
someone who
means.
grew up in the 90s and the
Yuck.
early 2000s who does not love that song.
What's the name of it? What?
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Ugh.
Merry Christmas.
The War on Christmas with
Merry
NSYNC.
Christmas and happy. Sing it, everybody.
No.
Just
we
me?
won't be doing that.
All right.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that either.
As I've gotten older
I
in
wanna
my
keep it that way.
and more accepting in my age, I've gotten to appreciate the boy band thing a little bit. They write some absolute bops, as the kids say.
Look,
They don't write them, but they perform them.
I could not escape the boy band craze of the 90s. I had an older sister.
Yeah.
And this pick might be a little blasphemous because I was raised in a Backstreet Boys household, but that is a holiday song, Christmas song that I will always listen to and always get joy out of.
All right.
Very young Justin Timberlake. Good stuff. Jay?
I mean, I love JT, so I'm good with that.
There's so many songs.
Yeah, there's a lot on the board
that
still.
remain. So
we literally.
I'm
could
gonna
have done like a 15-round draft.
say let's each throw in a couple honorable mentions too, just to
Okay.
if we got some favorites that people like. Man. All right, I'm gonna do it.
The Mr. or Mrs.
The
Irrelevant.
12 Days of Christmas, as
love that
performed by John Denver and the Muppets.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Yes.
greatest Christmas album of all time.
That's a great one.
My Aunt Jo, who is the closest thing to an elf living in the United States, Santa's elf, my Aunt Jo, the most Christmassy person I know, my godmother, my entire life, has played that record at her tree trimming party every year. It is just ingrained in my soul. So I'm going to take the 12 Days of Christmas, the Muppets John Denver version. And my actual favorite Christmas song is from that record. It's called A Baby Just Like You. You may have heard it, not knowing the name of
I
it.
had that CD as a kid and
Yeah.
would play it all the time.
But
at
just the
Christmas.
melodies of that song, they just kill me. That is truly my favorite Christmas song. So that had a chance. And the other one I was picking between was the Sinatra version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
The original Julie Garland is
Pretty good,
fantastic
too.
too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little upset. None of you mentioned the name Johnny Mathis in the last 20 minutes, and that bothers me.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of great ones.
I love Johnny Mathis. That record is
That
like
silky smooth voice.
synonymous with Christmas for me.
Yeah.
It has to.
You're right. You're not wrong.
Does that Muppet Christmas album, is that the same one that has their version of We Wish You a Merry Christmas where Miss Piggy kept going, Piggy Pudding?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause I had that as a kid too.
Yes.
I had the vinyl version.
And
of
what do you
not
call?
the
Is it? What do
compact
they
disc.
call it? Where like you start a chorus and then the next group starts it.
row
and
your-
you're-
row your
around.
boat.
Like
It's
a-
called
around.
Singing
Yeah.
around.
They did
Yeah.
Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. They do that one in
Yes.
around. That
Oh my
is,
gosh,
I'm
I
telling you,
remember that one.
just a classic.
I might have to
Christmas record.
throw that on the old Spotify on the way home.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
great.
heard that. I
listened
haven't
to
heard that in
album
a long
while.
time.
No Mannheim Steamroller for you
Oh,
guys?
get that out of here!
Oh my god.
I hate that. Like, ugh.
My
'Cause I'm not
dad.
my
You know what I
grandpa.
think of when I hear Mannheim Steamroller? Todd and Margot from Christmas Vacation,
Yes.
like sitting around in their like reflective gym suits, sipping wine and listening to Mannheim Steamroller.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's great for hockey game commercial break Christmas montages.
Yes.
That's what that was created for. Yeah, right. Here's like, here's a big check thrown by somebody. And
Mannheim Steamroller makes me think that I'm sitting in traffic by the airport.
It also sounds like a sex act, let's be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to pay extra for a Mannheim Steamroller.
Hey.
Great stuff. But the Bing Crosby Christmas album, throw that on, and I'm a happy guy. I love the old crooner versions of stuff. Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Just there's so many. I've been actually listening to a lot more Christmas music than I have in years past. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff.
Because you're old. You're a softie now.
It was on the list. Little Saint Nick was on my list. Yeah, no, I didn't draft it, but it was in consideration.
No.
Yeah, I like the Bon Jovi
Yeah,
version
the
of that one.
Darlene. Wait, the Darlene Love song. That probably should be
Being
somewhere.
chastised by our boss.
Darling Love?
Maybe you guys need
one.
to have a Christmas music draft on the CHGO show.
Yeah.
And
All right,
you
sounds
go.
good.
Darlene Love.
Darlene Love.
She's
Is that
the
an
singer.
artist or the name of the
She's
song?
the singer.
Why don't I know this?
she's
I
an
probably
amazing
know it.
singer.
You know it.
I probably know it and haven't heard
We've
it.
probably
It's
heard
actually in the opening credits to Gremlins, which I watched the other night.
Good for you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There you
Yes,
go.
yes,
You've
yes.
heard it,
Of course.
Yeah. There's a
You've
lot
heard
of good stuff we miss. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Baby is a classic.
Yeah.
Blue Christmas.
And
This-
I know Baby It's Cold Outside has been canceled, and rightfully so.
Sucks.
But the version from Elf with Zoe Deschanel,
Yes.
that's
I
just,
mean, is it because
she's-
she's in the shower? Does that have anything to do
no,
with
I
it?
just think she has such a classic style singing voice.
She does, yeah.
And I don't know. I think that scene in Elf is very like sweet and like his innocence of the whole thing, and
So it
covers
has-
his eyes and then runs into the
Yes,
stall.
has nothing to do with the fact that she's in the
Yeah.
shower.
No.
It doesn't
But see,
hurt, but
Baby-
it's not why.
See, there's a bunch of songs that are considered Christmas songs that I don't know why. Baby It's Cold Outside has nothing to do with Christmas.
It's
Let It
Christmas time.
Snow or Les Tits Now has nothing to do with Christmas. Technically Jingle Bells has nothing to do with Christmas. It's just about being on a horse with some bells on it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of songs that
It's
are
the
Winter
Chri- the
Wonderland is
Christmas
another
time.
one. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
sung at Christmas time, but
holiday
they're not
time.
really Christmas. They're winter songs.
yeah.
Yeah. My what's left on my draft board here was "Hark the Herald Angels Sing"
a
by
good one.
the Charlie Brown and the Peanuts Gang. We
Peanuts.
mentioned Bing Crosby, Mele Kalikimaka. I like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
gotta
really
get a
like
little
that
tiki
one.
action in
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
That's how you say Merry Christmas on this bright Hawaiian.
It's just I only think of Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
when I
yeah.
hear
Well,
that.
yes, Christmas Vacation. The theme song to Christmas Vacation. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that song.
No one
Yeah.
picked Holiday Road.
Nope.
Well, that's not a Christmas song.
What is it?
That's from
That's from
It's just
regular
they
vacation.
just say holiday.
What's the holiday?
That's from regular
It's the
vacation.
road.
it's holiday, as in going on a vacation, like a European vacation.
Yes, a European
It's a
holiday.
It's got nothing to do
know,
with
like a
Christmas.
holiday. You call
That's
vacation a holiday.
song.
I went on holiday.
Greg knows. He likes the
Yeah,
British,
the British
choirs.
choirs. They
Yeah.
would go on holiday.
Well, it was the theme song for National Lampoon's European Vacation.
I also had Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry.
It's a good one.
And Let Me Sleep, It's Christmas Time by Pearl Jam, which I just kind of discovered in the last two Christmas seasons. Just kind of like, what are some other Christmas songs I've never heard before? And I came across that one, and I really like it.
It's a good
Again,
one.
I love Pearl Jam. They're like my favorite band ever. But
Happy Christmas by John Lennon is a good one, too.
Yes.
I always
Yes,
play
it
that
is.
one. When
Are
it's
you going
on.
to tell me next that Holidays in the Sun by the Sex Pistols is not a Christmas song? It's not. I promise you.
Oh, that's Mariah Carey, All I Want for
I
Christmas.
love that song. I don't care what
hate
anybody
that
says. That song is great.
you know what? I don't
Fire
hate
him
that song.
immediately.
It is just so
It's overplayed,
overplayed,
yes.
and people get so excited about it. And I'm like, cool your jets.
Yeah.
Because it is
What
not
about
that good.
the? Where are you guys at on the
School
Wham
your
song?
Winnipeg
Put it,
Jets.
put it
Last Christmas.
overplayed.
doesn't
I like it.
It's fine.
I enjoy it.
It's overplayed.
It's fine. I've actually heard some good other versions of it that's better than the Wham version.
Taylor
Okay.
Swift version is better, according to Kevin K. Duck. Head of
could be.
content.
Well,
It could be better.
I've never heard the Taylor Swift version of that or
Come on,
any
Greg.
other song.
Don't pretend you hate Tay Tay.
I don't
She's the
hate her. I
best.
just don't know her. I don't listen to her. I'm not
Oh.
in her demographic, and I'm
Well,
okay with
Why
that.
do you hate Taylor
You know what
Swift?
though?
Greg?
You are now. She's turned into like a indie-ish hipstery.
Still,
No.
I guess that's
still not
your-
for me.
not for Greg.
Not for me. Not my cup of tea.
She's in mine.
You know, if we're talking about Christmas song recommendations, if you want a short album that really comes unexpectedly, pull up the Bad Religion Christmas album. It's so cool. Like, it's literally a band called Bad Religion doing punk rock versions of Hark the Herald Angels Sings and other religious Christmas songs. It's fantastic.
Nice. I'll have to check that
I
out.
also recommend Pretty Paper by Willie Nelson. The entire album is wonderful.
Was he talking about presents or other types of papers?
Pretty rolling papers. Yeah. And where are you guys at on the McCartney song?
Awful. That's the worst Christmas song ever.
I saw someone say that is basically like they're truly practicing witchcraft, and then people
Yeah,
find them
I've
like
seen that
simply having a wonderful Christmas
Yeah,
time.
I've seen that
But
meme.
the other lyrics are about
Yeah, the moon
other
is
things.
up, and
Yeah.
they're sacrificing virgins, and then nope, just celebrating Christmas in
Yeah.
there. That's the worst Christmas song ever. It's so awful. Basically, I think what Paul McCartney did, and it wouldn't be as bad if it was from anybody else besides Paul McCartney, but it's like, you're a freaking Beatle, and this is what you give us? I basically think
Silly love songs.
he bought a synthesizer, and you know how like when you like buy a keyboard as a kid, there's that like demo mode where it plays
Love
by
it.
itself. He just pressed that button and then sang a
Yeah.
song over it.
Oh man, I had so many hours of fun with my Yamaha 48 key. That's amazing.
Stacy says, "What about Elvis's Christmas album? Yeah, Blue Christmas is great.
Blue Christmas. I like his version of Here Comes Santa Claus because it's basically Elvis doing an Elvis impression during that song.
Perfect.
We could have done 20 rounds on this and still not have been
there's
satisfied.
so many great Christmas songs.
All right,
so
but
you
I'm gonna
like,
do
like
this.
whatever you guys like.
I'm gonna do this. I'm going to I'm gonna get the list together. I'm gonna make a Spotify playlist so you guys can jump on Spotify and just follow the playlist and listen to all of our favorite songs. I'm gonna put them in the order they were drafted.
So, I was gonna say, basically, you're just gonna copy anyone else's Christmas thing because it's just they're all the same. songs.
It's gonna be our specific
Okay.
versions. I'll even throw our honorable mentions in there at the end.
Curated by us.
Yeah, it'll be fun. All right, well, we're back. Tomorrow night? We got a post-game show, Hawks and Preds.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun, exciting game.
I just hate the
Hawks and
Predators.
Preds.
I do too. Can I bet on the Predators to score first and win?
You can.
It'll ease your pain.
Yeah.
So we're thinking that's a okay
No,
bet.
no judgment if you're trying to make money.
No. I am just
Peter
asking
Mrazek
about the
starting.
money.
Go for it.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
in.
you're good. That's free money. All right, so join us post-game. Reminder, those holiday gifts, all CHGO.com. Give the sports fan in your life a All-City diehard membership. Go to CHGOLocker.com to stock up on merch. Everything I ordered has arrived. I'm good to go. My Hostess shirt came today.
Perfect.
I got my varsity hoodies, got everything good to go, right in time for Christmas. So thanks to everybody in Denver who handles all the shipping. Great job getting everything to arrive on time, and we appreciate that. But CHGOLocker.com for all your merch needs. And remember, diehards save 20% on all CHGO merch. We'll talk to you tomorrow night after Hawks and Preds on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.